What's good, people? It's your boy, Uncle Fred. I know y'all thought, man, the dude that fell off the wagon, that fell off the map, but I'm still here. I'm still rocking Cowboys. Been keeping up with a lot of the stuff that's going on. Just not really wanting to say a whole bunch, but we're gonna have a little short video today. Just kind of get back into the thing. I'm back. I'm back, and I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be trying to do 2, 3 videos every week, trying to keep them a little shorter and try to do more with less. And like the Cowboys are doing, trying to do more with less. But we're going to talk about, I hadn't talked to you guys since the draft. We're going to talk about what I thought about the draft, who I think are going to be the movers and shakers in the draft. We're in the second week of training camp. Some of the things that has gone on with that, and some of the things I saw, some of the stuff I heard about, some of the politics that's going on with that. Some of the idiocy that's going on with the front office and how they're moving. And I'm gonna just kind of share with you my thoughts on that, and I think the danger and how the Joneses move and how it affects you as the fan and how you think. And so hopefully with some intelligence and some people like me and Sky and Boss and West Cowboy, West Coast and landlord and all them guys, you can kind of get on the right path. And then we're going to talk about these contracts and stuff like that. And we're just going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We're going to try to keep it short and sweet. But we're going to get right to that here in just a minute.
Two times on the beat, bitch.
Again, what's good? It's your boy Uncle Fred back in the house, back in the saddle, one more again, and we just gonna talk about a few things. Like I said, last video I had back at last April, we did the draft, and I was just who the guys I thought we should get, and we didn't. I don't. I'm gonna say this: I like the draft. I didn't like our first pick. Let's just go through the picks. Now we picked Tyler Guyton, first pick, Oklahoma, second pick, Edge, Marshawn Nealon. Didn't even know who he was, but I like the pick. Round two, pick 56. Round three, and of course the deal we made with Detroit give us 2 threes because we didn't have a fourth because that's another deal. Allowed us to get Cooper Beebe, pick 373, and then come back at 87 and get Maris Leofau, which I saw him a lot in because I watched some of the Notre Dame games because Notre Dame, never really been a Notre Dame fan, but I like Freeman, the coach, and I like what he's doing. And I like their defenses are always going to be good. It's just a matter of what they can do with offense. But I would have rather had Peyton Wilson, but the injuries and stuff. But so we didn't have a pick to the fifth round. And then we end up getting Kalen Carson out of Wake Forest, which, hey, man, that dude's a dude, man. I just didn't think we needed a corner there because I think we could have used a running back, but the running backs were kind of gone because we didn't have a fourth. And a lot of running backs went from the end of the third to all the way to the end of the fifth. A lot of running backs went and that we could have had, but, whatever. Yeah, but at least we got Trey Lance, right? All right, moving on. And then Ryan Flournoy. I mean, I've been hearing some good stuff about him in camp. He's got good size, the dude that's his mentor is Chris, Chris, not Chris Collinsworth. Me and names be coming and going. But the dude from Ohio State that used to be on Undisputed with Skip and Shannon and first with the show used to come on before that. So that's his mentor, Ryan Flournoy. Then we went offensive tackle with Nathan Thomas with our 2 7th round picks, and then Justin Rogers. So just my overview. Wasn't really. Let me put my captions up. So, but yeah, I really wasn't that great with the Tyler Guyton pick because I was like, there's other tackles you can get, man, rather than him. I didn't like it because I was like, he a right tackle, but they got a left-handed quarterback. I get it, Gabriel, I get it. But man, I've been hearing some good stuff about him and his work with um, oh man, Chris Carter. That's the wide receiver's name. With the offensive line guru. Um, and shout out to Cowboy Fan Talk. That's where I first Duke Manyweather. I heard of him from Cowboy Fan Talk, and I did some research on him. That's a dude. Every dude that, not everybody, but most of the guys that work with him usually end up being, quality offensive linemen. Because the book on Guyton, because I ain't going from my own look. I'm going from people I know that watch film and analyze film. I'm looking at Foots the King. I'm looking at Vosh Lombardi. Them guys watch film and analyze film. And Vosh Lombardi used to be an offensive lineman. He knows he was saying he got good size because Charlie got 6'8" and 330. Okay. Can't teach that. And he's athletic. But sometimes his hands, his balance and stuff, it'd be out of whack. And he was a good pass block. I don't think he gave up a sack in Oklahoma, but he was meh against on the run. And of course, now what we're looking for is offensive line, because I really thought that our running game was suspect last year. Because Tyron Smith, who I wish we could have kept, but he was running plays, but he was great at pass plays. So I was hoping we get a guy that could be a road grader in the running game, because I think that's beneficial to keeping our offense and defense is off balance. If you can run the ball and he's turn around, hand the ball, and because our offensive line is good and our running game is good, we can get like 4 yards in the 2nd and 6 instead of 2nd and 9.5. But soon as he got drafted, that dude went to Duke Manyweather. Not only him, but Cooper Beebe also. And that, I think that dude's gonna be a guy, man. So we're gonna see what happens with that. Of course, Marshawn Nealon didn't know nothing about him, but I did my research. He's basically a clone of DeMarcus Lawrence, run stuff in defensive end, big 6'3", 270. And was coming along as a pass rusher, but he was a great run stuffer at the defensive end position. So because our run defense was and then of course we get Cooper Beebe, which hey man, we did good to get Cooper Beebe. That dude's he's a mean and nasty big though. They like to call him the dirt man because he like to put dudes in the dirt. In the dirt. He loves to do that. So, then Morris Leofau, which, like I said, is a good linebacker, and he's a little aggressive. Of course, now we're gonna get Overshown back. So with our linebackers, now we was able to get Kendrick. So our linebackers not gonna be bad. As it was last year. So I'm real happy about that. I think eventually he's going to take over for Eric Kendricks. But I would have rather have us gotten Peyton Wilson. But Peyton Wilson had some injury things, but not while he was at North Carolina State, but when he was in high school and like early in his career. But I think he's played the last couple of seasons without missing too many games. He's a monster. The Steelers ended up getting him, so we'll see what happens. But there's always going to be a comparison. I'm always going to be peeking over it in there on their paper, seeing how Peyton Wilson did and looking at how our guy Maris Leofau does and whatever. So we didn't get another pick to the 5th, and we got Kalen Carson, which he's a sticky. And I've been hearing good stuff about him in the training camp. Real sticky, man. All over these guys, man, and the guy that he played under I can't think of the head coach's name at Wake Forest, but the guys that come from under him are real good in coverage, and especially man-to-man coverage and stuff. So, and I think they got him because I would have much rather get some D tackles or something like that. But I think they were looking at, we're not going to keep Stephon Gilmore, so we need, because our thing is, if we get a guy from the outside, we want to replace him with a guy we want to draft. We like to draft guys. We love to draft and develop. We love our draft guys. And we don't really like the guy. We'll take a guy that we pick from free agency when we want to, if we have to. Like we had to get a guy because of Sam Williams. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But Kalen Carson's gonna be good, and maybe he's gonna have to start game 1. But look, this is my thing. I would have wished we could have kept Stephon Gilmore. I don't think he was looking for a whole lot of money. He just wanted to stay because I think he liked them. And them young dudes looked up to him. And I thought that was important. That um, uh, you got guys that are really to mentor guys. If the Cowboys don't let guys get mentored because it's like, oh, we don't want to pay for that. Like, but that's kind of how you do it. They didn't want to pay for Amari Cooper to stay to continue to mentor CeeDee Lamb. No, they only played together for like a year with Dak, you know. And and so he could mentor. And the sad thing about that, Michael Gallup is since retired since I last talked to y'all, and wished all the best for Michael Gallup. But I think Michael Gallup got rushed back, and I think they foolhardily gave him a lot of money when he was injured, and they shouldn't have. Gave that dude like $58 million or whatever, and he's got an ACL and some other injuries going on, and he was just coming off the calf injury, and because he's a guy we drafted, so we want to make sure we pay him and send Amari Cooper packing for a 5th-round pick, who we turned into Matt Walesko, who's yet to play a game, I don't think. But it would have been good. And CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, for all the pomp and circumstance when we got Amari Cooper in 2018 and drafted Michael Gallup the same year. And then we end up drafting CeeDee Lamb in 2020. All three of them dudes only played 17 games together with Dak Prescott. Just thought I would have shared that with you. Through injuries and unforeseen circumstances, COVID and, calf injuries with Michael Gallup and the ACL injury with Michael Gallup, and then the Dak ankle injuries and all this kind of stuff with all that. So that they never lined up to play a long period of time together. They played 17 games together. And CD and Amari only played like a season. He got drafted in 2020, and Dak got hurt in game 4, and so they didn't have him. So they played together with Andy Dalton, and that was kind of hit and miss. And then of course they get him in 2021, and after 2021 they sent Amari Cooper packing. Well, we got Gallup, so we don't need you. So we end up getting Ron Flournoy, who's Chris Carter's his mentor. I would have much rather have gotten Jerry Rice's son. How bad could he be? He got the GOAT as his daddy. How bad could he be? I don't even know who we got drafted by. And then, of course, we get, 2 big dudes in the ladder. All right, let's move on to our training camp stuff. So we're going to see. But I've been hearing, so the politics with the Cowboys. And I know every team got their own politics and they have to deal with it and stuff. When you draft a guy high or you pay a lot of money for a guy, you're going to want him to play because you got capital invested, you got draft capital invested. But other teams seem to work that stuff out and just let the best dude just play. Whereas the Cowboys tend to like to play the guy that they got the most invested in, even though he might not be the best guy. So when training camp rolled out, and I'm like, they rolling out Chuma Edoga as the starting left tackle. Now I know the Cowboys like to roll with their vets on the first thing, so I get that. But I was having flashbacks because I remember in the Arizona Cardinals game when he started and played, because that game was weird anyway, because y'all remember Tyron Smith thought he was playing, was on the sideline with his helmet and shoulder pads on in that hot Arizona heat, fully dressed, looking like he was going to play, and sat on the sideline the whole play with his full uniform. That was just weird because you saw him, Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass, Chuma Edoga, and the only starter I think that played in that game was Tyler Smith, who that was his first game coming back because he missed the first 2 games against the Giants and the Jets. And, and I got flashbacks from the Dolphins game where he was playing left tackle, and I'm looking at Nick Chubb and guys running right around him. He forgetting who to block. So I'm like, what? And so then you start hearing rumblings that, Tyler Guyton ain't ready. And I'm like, and, you listen to different content dudes, but the guys I listen to who I respect, Patrick and O.C. Walker, he was saying that, no, Guyton's going to be the guy. And I'm listening to also the Boss Cowboy, and he was like saying, hey, if he gets the job, let's get it, but don't give it to him. Let him earn that, because a lot of times in the draft, we want to push the drafted guy, but in the vet, it's things the vet knows that the drafted guy who may have more ability just don't know how to do but the vet guy knows, where to go and where to do, what to go, where to go, and knows the stuff. So same thing with Cooper Beebe. Brock Hoffman is really going to be and I think Brock Hoffman's going to win the starting job because Brock Hoffman is because there's been some, there's been fights in training camp, what they call fights. Really, it was it was not Leofy. It was Kalen Carson, who he gets after guys, and Brevin Spanford. I didn't even get into the undrafted free agents because that's Brevin Spanford, Corey Kroon, uh, Denzel Daxon. I'm probably the guys. We got like 8 of them. Nathaniel Pete, but I don't think he's going to make the team as running back. We love undrafted free agents. We get more of them dudes that make the team than anybody else. So and we just tend to like, if we win the lottery, we want to quit the job and just pick lottery tickets instead of working. You got lucky. You got lucky with Peyton Hendershot and what's the guy's name that we played linebacker with? He was an undrafted free agent. I can't think of his name, but he's playing linebacker. We got lucky with that guy, and the guy from North Dakota State, the running back, fullback. We got lucky with some of them dudes, right? And John Stevens Jr., right? We got lucky with some of those guys, right? Who's gonna make the team? He had ACL. He's probably gonna be one about in our 2-3 tight end rotation this year. But that don't mean you can get that every year. And we go to the UFL. We signed Willie Harvey Jr. Serial killer or something, don't it? That name, yeah, you got to do something with it. That's why he called himself the assassin. But he was the UFL's top linebacker, so we're going to see what he does added to our linebacker depth. So we'll see what happens with that because, we got Cavante Turpin and Brandon Aubrey, from the UFL. And so maybe, hey, once you get, we got Pro Bowlers out of that, maybe we can strike it again. I don't know. Who knows? Willie Harvey Jr. might be good and special teams and some stuff. We'll see. But the point I'm trying to make is we try to push the dude that we draft ahead of the guy. And on defense, Mozzie's and look, Mozzie has gone through hell. Excuse my language. He's been through hell. Somebody forced that dude and encouraged that dude to lose 40 whole pounds, like a fifth of his body weight last year for whatever reason. And this dude been 340 pounds his whole life or whatever, or his football life. He's been plus 300 pounds. He plays at a heavyweight. He's playing nose tackle, for God's sake, right? What do you want him at 285 for? What are we doing? So he's got to recover that and do whatever with that. Now I think he's back up to like 310, 315, and I've heard he's playing some good stuff, but the dudes on 1-on-3-5, the fans said he's not 5-3. The fans say he's not playing well. That's just the stuff they're putting out there because they're trying to save face. That Justin Rogers is actually playing better than him. That's the 7th rounder we got out of Auburn. So I don't know. It's always the politic game that you see in my thumbnail that's got to worry about with the Cowboys, because they're pushing the Cooper Beebe thing because Cooper Beebe, we got drafted him in the 3rd round, and he eventually is going to be the guy. But I'm hearing Mike Solari likes vets. So Chuma Edoga, which I'm hoping he don't start, and I'm hoping Guyton just takes that job and does what he needs to do, and Cooper Beebe gets the job. But Brock Hoffman is going to be a dude. Now I heard some rumblings with Brock Hoffman and Mozzie, like they was knocked him on the ground, and he was in Mozzie's face, and they was back and forth. And so that's what I like about Brock Hoffman. He's in your face. He's not, going to get pushed around like Tyler Biadasz. He's not going to, neither is Cooper Beebe. So we're going to see. Now, the thing about, I've been hearing about Guyton, and of course now he played a little bit because I think they tried to say Edoga got hurt, got some sort of injury, so they brought Guyton in. He was playing a little bit in the underwear Olympics on the first week when you don't have pads, and the second week, with the padded practice. They was unleashing Micah on him, and then Micah couldn't get to the quarterback. He tried the speed move and the Dwight Freeney spin move and but Micah got a whole bunch of moves that he tries to make. He got the Euro step that he tries to do in games and stuff like that. So he got him, and they was like, well, he wasn't giving him his fastball. He was just, because it's important that Guyton keeps his confidence up because we need to count on him, and maybe Michael wasn't trying to embarrass dude. So I don't know, man. We'll see. But I've been hearing both sides of the thing, that Guyton ain't ready. And I've been hearing that Guyton is going to be the dude. Micah couldn't do nothing with him. We're going to see. We're going to see. But, of course, now the big story of the training camp, second padded practice, we lose Sam Williams to an ACL and an MCL. So that was hurtful because, but that goes to show you, man, that, and I got 2 points of view on this, and then we're going to get into the contract stuff and then the Cowboys team, but we're going to be done. But the Cowboys, I think I'm going to look at him because I think Sam Williams wasted a lot of effort. I think he wasted a lot of time bull jiving, as Shannon Sharp liked to say, in his first couple of years, and wasn't serious about his craft. And he was bull jiving. And now you get to a point where they done let go of Dante Fowler, let go of Dorrance Armstrong. You front and center there now. According to Mike Zimmer, he was going to get about 75% of the snaps. The MCL, he's done for the season. What could you have done had you been serious the first couple of years and you wasn't D'ing around and free me and all that kind of foolishness in social media, and was like really trying to get in your playbook and wasn't planning freaking victory parties in the playoff game that you didn't show up in? Guys waste time and don't realize. And that's what I tell young folks all the time. I'm not trying to be the old dude with the kid off my lawn, but dude, time is precious, man, and you don't really have time to waste. I know the young guys think that you got all the time in the world to figure your life plan out, but you really don't, So now he in a contract year because he was drafted in 2022 along with Tyler Smith and Jake Ferguson and all them dudes. That was a good draft too, man. Tyler Smith, Jake Ferguson, and God, what's the safety's name? God, I cannot think. It'll come to me in a minute. All them dudes in they contract year, and this dude's on going to be on the, not going to be able to play, and all that time he wasted. See, and then the Cowboys, I'm upset with them is that you wait until he get hurt. Now you want to go get defensive ends and defense. You needed defensive ends and defensive linemen even with Sam Williams because you let 2 pass rushers leave the place. And you didn't draft any pass rushers. Marshawn Nealon's a run stuffer. If he can get some pass rush. And they've been playing him at defensive tackle and defensive end because we short on defensive tackle. We ain't got no defensive tackles. Okay? You let Jonathan Hankins walk. And when he could have continued to been a mentor for Mozzie. That's what I'm talking about. The Cowboys don't let guys mentor guys, and it don't really cost nothing, right? It would have been good to have had, and I'm going into some other things, it would have been good to have had Bobby Wagner a couple of them years, 22 and 23, to help mentor Micah. And it made me think that maybe Quinn don't want him. But as soon as Quinn get the job in Washington, who does he get? He gets Bobby Wagner. And maybe he don't like linebackers, right? Because they wouldn't go get linebackers. They put Marquise Bell. I got his name. They put Marquise Bell, a 205-pound safety at linebacker. But he was trying his best, but he just ain't got enough bricks in his pocket, guys. But of course he get him and Frankie Louvu. From Carolina. That's the dude I wanted to get. But no, we ain't gonna spend no money for a linebacker. We'll go get Willie Harvey Jr. from the UFL and pay him $38 to hear Lombardi say it. So Sam Williams goes down, and we pick up a couple of dudes. And I'm laughing because I was watching Skywalker Steel Thursday when they was talking about it. And the guys that they picked up, and he was he didn't know how to pronounce the guy's name, and he was trying to say his name maybe Al Qaeda, but his name is Al Qadin Muhammad, Al Qadin Muhammad, okay, and Shaka Tony, them the dudes we picked up. In the because Muhammad's a 6-year veteran, got drafted by New Orleans, got cut in the first game of the 2017 season, picked up by the Colts. Got waived by the Colts, picked up again by the Colts, had a good season in 2022, I think, had 11 sacks in 3 years with the Colts, 127 tackles. He's a good fill-in guy. I think he's a good, solid guy. He had signed with the Bears, but was released last year in 23. He also got served a suspension, I think, for PEDs, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got some things going on too. But anyway, so Al-Quadin, not Al-Qaeda, Al-Quadin Muhammad and Shaka Toney. Shaka Toney was a guy. He don't have a whole lot. I think he was drafted by the Washington Commanders back in, I think, 2019, if I'm not mistaken. He worked a little bit with, I think, Jeff Sanina, who works on our defensive line. That's why they got him. It's either Jeff Sanina or the other guy, Scanina, Jeff Scanina. I think it's one of them guys that he worked with at Washington. Is why, the familiarity is why, who they, you get guys that work with. He was a 7th round pick in 2021. He's got 1.5 sacks and 16 tackles. Yeah, he'll probably be a special teams dude, probably just a camp body. Okay. And I think they may be still looking for some defensive tackles and things of that nature. Right. But he was suspended last year also for gambling. And I think they signed for vet minimum. And some of the guys that some reports have said we were looking at was Carl Lawson from the Jets, but I think he wanted a little bit of money. And he's worked with, he's on the Vikings at one point with Zimmer. So Zimmer has some familiarity with him, but we ain't gonna pay nobody from the outside now. We ain't gonna do that. And then Shaq Lawson, I think he was recently retired from the Jets. The Dolphins. But I think if he could come out of retirement, he want a little money. And what's the kid's name from that? I cannot think of his name either. But the dude from Jacksonville, I can't think of his name. He played with Minnesota. But I think he really wants to make some money. Yeah, and so they picked the cheapest dude. So we'll see what happens with that. The other thing we talked about, we're going to talk about Trayvon Diggs. Got took off of the PUP list. He's been doing some drills, working a little bit with Britt Brown. They're saying, he's going to be clear. I hope he don't play game 1. I really hope he don't, because we really didn't had really a bad history with guys with ACLs trying to start him, push them to play early. Michael Gallup and Terrence Steele, didn't play their best. That's why I would have liked to have done for them to have kept Stephon Gilmore, whatever deal, let him play like first 5-6 games. Because I'm gonna tell you, as good as Kalen Carson is in training camp, when we play the Browns on game 1, you think Amari Cooper is not gonna pull out all of his tool bags on this rookie? So as good as he is, he don't know what Amari Cooper know. Amari Cooper's a route running savant. Regardless how you feel about how he disappeared in games and things of that nature, I don't know. But he's going to put it. If it ain't him, it's going to be Jerry Jeudy. Both of them dudes are route running savants. So whatever guy, if he line up against Bland on one side and you got Kalen Carson on the other side, or if you want to put Jordan Lewis on him, he 5'10", 5'9", or whatever. I'm just saying it would have been good to put Gilmore out there and Bland and let Diggs, get good and right, get his mentals up and right, and seeing how that was going to go. But of course we couldn't do that because we long for it, forsake it to be so that we could let a guy mentor some guys, because they was talking to Israel McQuamon when he was that Stephon Gilmore was, and they was talking to Bland too. They was like, man, that dude, they said, man, when he be talking, we just pull up with our notebook and pen and just start listening to him because his formations, his tendencies and stuff that he's done seen. That dude have been in Super Bowls. that he can relate to these guys. That stuff is invaluable. You can't just pass that off. We don't want to pay. But but anyway, let's move on to some other stuff. The Cowboys are doing how they do how they want to pay their players. And what I don't like about how the Cowboys do their thing is they turn the fan base against their players. It's the only team I know that always root that the players get less money and root for the Joneses to have more money in their pocket. Don't no other team do that but us. But it's how the Cowboy team, their front office package it. So CeeDee Lamb looks to be selfish to want top money for putting out top results. Okay. And you get Jerry saying we can have 5 guys to do what CeeDee Lamb can do, and you pay 5 guys $5-6 million a piece, or would you rather have CeeDee Lamb? And you would think of how Jerry talks is like we and how we spend money and how we dig from the bottom of the barrel and dig way in to draft and develop. And you would think we're the Tampa Bay Rays when we really the New York Yankees. Be the freaking Yankees. Stop being you're not the Tampa Bay Rays who draft guys and build them up so that the Yankees, Red Sox, the Cardinals, and the Dodgers can pick them up because they can't afford to pay them, and then they just reload and get a new guy and build him up and let them guys go to somebody, reload. We're not that guy. We're not Jacksonville. We're not Green Bay. Anyway, so we're going to see what happens. There's a guy, Pretty Ricky, it's been put out that CeeDee Lamb's deal is imminent. It's going to be a 4-year deal worth between 136 and 138 million, which is somewhere between 33 and 34 million a year. And I think he's earned it when you look at what Justin Jefferson signed for, when you look at what Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Browns signed for, when you look at what Jalen Waddle signed for, when you look at what A.J. Brown and all them guys and signed for, pay your guys, Jerry. That's what the going rate is. You got to pay the guys. Yeah, they get paid for that, and everybody else is paying their players. And here's the thing, and same thing with Dak. Whatever, I don't care what you think about Dak. If you look at the deals that the deals that other quarterbacks in the league got, Jordan Love, signed a 4-year freaking $220 million deal, giving him an average of $55 million. Dude that started like 17 games. Okay? How do you know this dude can read a freaking defense? All right? That team was 2-5 at one point last year and lost to the freaking Giants with Tommy DeVito, right? $55 million. Tua Tagovailoa, which I love. I bleed crimson and white. And he did a lot of great things. That championship game in 2018, man, was like all that, man. I love Tua Tagovailoa. But he has not done all of that in the NFL, okay? And he signed a 4-year, 217 I think $1 million deal. Around $54 million a year. Okay. So why you want Dak to take $40 million? He better than them dudes, regardless of what you think, right? And a lot of times, dudes are a product of what the environment or what the team does around them. How are we at team building? Because as you see, I got a note here, and I wrote down some stuff. Because the Cowboys, they've been 12-5, and Michael Gehlken was on the Final Word. He was saying, well, everybody talks about Jerry Jones and how he mismanaged the culture. Yeah, but the culture is good enough to win 12 games for 3 years in a row, but the culture is bad when they lose the playoffs. Yeah, but what you're not looking at is that you can win regular season games because the league has only got about 6 elite teams. The other 25 teams are somewhere in the middle or at the bottom. And you can beat those teams. It's 5 teams when you look at the Lions, the 49ers, the Eagles in the East, and then the Packers are coming. Then you can throw us in there, but we done lost like 9 players. You go to the AFC, obviously Kansas City, Baltimore, the Dolphins now because they're who the people they've added. The Jets, you got to look at now of adding Javon Kinlaw, and Mike Williams and getting Aaron Rodgers back to go with what they already had and who they drafted and things. You have to factor the Jets and what the Texans have done. Okay, you factor all them teams in. Those are like the elite teams, right? In the AFC, right? You can put Cincinnati in there because they got Joe Burrow. Okay, but everybody else is in the rest of the team, and you can make a living beating them other teams and win 12 games. But when you face them other 6 teams, when you face the 49ers, what the 49ers do in the offseason? I'm going to tell you. They lost Dre Greenlaw in the Super Bowl, one of the stud linebackers. Who they do? They went out and got Devondre Campbell from the Packers. And they also picked up Leonard Floyd from the Rams, the Buffalo Bills, the defensive end, right? So their defensive line, what their defensive line going to look like? It's going to be Nick Bosa on one end, Eric Floyd, Leonard Floyd on the other end. It's going to be Javon on one end, Javon. God, I cannot think of his last name, and I got it wrote down right here. But they got him, Javon Hargrave, and they got Malik Collins. You see that kind of defensive line that is? And we trotting out 7th round rookies and Mozzie Smith. Come on, dude. Okay? And they drafted Ricky Pearsall and Garado. That's a running back I would have loved to have. Ricky Pearsall, in case they can't sign Brandon Ayuk. They're going to be 49ers paying, and they paying their players too. They paying about 10 players, like $15, $20 million or more. Okay? So they're paying their players. They draft well. They're getting free agents, right? The Eagles picked up in free agency Bryce Hall, Saquon Barkley, Devin White, but they also drafted Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. Okay? And they went out and they paid Landon Dickerson, paid Jordan Mailata, paid Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. And of course, we know they paid Jalen Hurts. So they're paying their players, they're getting free agents, and they drafted well. Okay. Packers, who they draft? They drafted Jordan, the guy from Arizona. I liked him as a tackle. But they also drafted. They also picked up. Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs. Okay. And they let go of Aaron Jones and that sort of thing, and then they re-signed AJ Dillon. All right, so they draft and they paying, and they paying Jordan Love. They paying their players. They draft and they pick up free agents. These are the teams we got to play. Detroit Lions. Did you ask about Detroit Lions? Sure, they drafted Teron Arnold, best cornerback in the draft. Enos Rakestraw, very underrated cornerback because their cornerbacks were trash last year. But in the free agency, they pick up DJ Reader, okay? They go with Aiden Hutchinson, and they also picked up Christian Mahogany. That's a guard I would have liked to have had out of Boston College, okay? And they also paid Amon-Ra St. Brown, they paid Penei Sewell, and they paid Jared Goff. So they paying their players, they getting free agents, and they drafting players. Folks, these are the teams we've got to beat if we're trying to get to the Super Bowl. Them teams are here, and they're adding to their teams, and we're going undrafted free agents and draft guys, and don't get no free agents and looking in the UFL. So we still right here. And you want Dak to go out and beat them guys with the team he's got against those teams. And it turns you against the team. And I hate that because it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. But anyway, man, I'll be back next week, man. I don't want that's just, I didn't want to rant that much. It's supposed to be a 15-minute thing, but I ain't been with y'all in 3 months. It's a lot of talking points, But like, comment, subscribe, become a part. Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I'm trying to get my thing up. But at some point, I want to be monetized. But I don't gotta have money to talk about the Cowboys and my love for the Cowboys. But hey, even with your kids, you might love them to death, but when they don't do what they're supposed to do, you got to be able to, you got to hold them accountable. Okay. When the playoffs and when the preseason start next week, and we playing, is it the Rams? I think we playing next week. I'm gonna be right there. Let's go. Let's get it. But what I've learned is being in the content space, and I told somebody this the other day as we close this video. Being in the content space, you start to look at the game a different way, look at the Cowboys a different way, because you look at meat a whole lot different when you see how the sausage is made. Because as a fan, you're just looking at the team on Sunday. But when you're a content creator, you gotta research, you gotta research your topics, you gotta look up research, you gotta watch film, you gotta look at how they move. You looking at the game from Monday through Saturday, and you see how they move. Sometimes it's not a pleasant sight how they move but you just looking at if you just pick it up on Sunday, oh, go Cowboys. But being in the content space, you see what they do from Monday to Saturday. And sometimes that's not pleasant. It's not a good look. And you see how the sausage is made. And so when me and Vosh and Steve Skywalker Steel, West Coast, Boss Cowboy Fan Talk, Landlord from Alabama, Henny DeMoore, all them dudes, the different content, Law Nation, Mark Holmes, all them guys, when they tell you what the Cowboys are doing, believe them, because Mike Fisher tells you one side because he's in their pocket. I love Mike Fisher, don't get me wrong, but he likes to skin and grin with the Joneses. And see, the guys that I listen to and respect them, they check the Joneses every chance they get. But like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, people. We'll catch you guys sometime next week.